Lillian Henriette Charlotte Schuler, married name Bettencourt, is a French heiress, socialite, businesswoman, and philanthropist. What a selection of fantastic words. Anyway, she's one of the principal shareholders of L'Oreal, and is the second wealthiest woman in the world, with an estimated net worth of $39.7 billion. Bettencourt was born in Paris, France, the only child of Louise Madeleine Berthe and Eugene Schuler, the founder of L'Oreal, one of the world's largest cosmetics and beauty companies. Her mother died in 1927 when Lillian was 5 years old, and she formed a close bond with her father. At the age of 15, she joined her father's company as an apprentice, mixing cosmetics and labelling bottles of shampoo. We've all got to start somewhere. In 1957, Bettencourt inherited the L'Oreal fortune when her father died. Pretty classic that, becoming the principal shareholder of L'Oreal. In 1963, the company went public, with Bettencourt opting to own a majority stake. In 1974, in fear that the company would get nationalised after the French elections, she exchanged almost half of her stake for a 3% stake in Nestlé, which became the largest food company in the world, measured by revenues, and has a market capitalisation of nearly $250 billion. Not a bad move, all things considered, especially when you started off being the girl who did the labels on the shampoo things. Jim Walton, born in 1948, is the youngest son of Sam Walton, the founder of the world's largest retailer, Walmart. You might have heard of it. He has a current net worth of $40.1 billion. The retailer had sales of nearly $500 billion during 2013 alone. In 1972, good old Jimbo joined the retailer and was involved in its real estate dealings. After 4 years, he moved to the family-owned Walton Enterprises as president in 1975. He's pledged about $2 billion to the Walton Family Foundation, along with his siblings, from 2008 to 2013. Alice Walton is the 11th richest person in the world, with a net worth of $38.7 billion, while Samuel Robson Walton's net worth is $100 million less than his younger sister, making him settle for 12th richest person in the world spot. Oh, you poor sausage. You can't help but wonder if the Waltons ought to get together at Christmas and just, show off receipts to each other, or compare account balances. Oh yeah, it's very good. Spent a lot of money on a jumper this year. Good job, Daddy Walton. The mind boggles. David Hamilton Koch is an American businessman, philanthropist, political activist, and chemical engineer. He joined the family business Koch Industries, a conglomerate that is the second largest privately held company in the United States, in 1970. He became president of the subsidiary Koch Engineering. Listen, alright, I'm going to keep saying this word. You've got to stop laughing, alright? Has everyone stopped? Good. Carry on. He became president of the subsidiary Koch Engineering, it's funny, in 1979, and became co-owner of Koch Industries with older brother Charles in 1983. He is now an executive vice president. I've just realised maybe it's Koch, but I'm going to keep saying Koch, and we'll pretend that it's probably an accident. Anyway, David Koch has a current net worth of $40.7 billion. Koch Industries, which sells products ranging from asphalt, chemicals, commodity trading, energy, fibers, fertilizers, finance, minerals, natural gas, plastics, petroleum, and more, has revenues of $115 billion in 2012. That's a lot of dosh. Also worth $40.7 billion is David's older brother, Charles Koch. He is co-owner, chairman of the board, and chief executive officer of Koch Industries. Charles and David each own 42% of the conglomerate. The brothers inherited the business from their father, Fred C. Koch, then expanding the business. Koch rarely grants media interviews and prefers to keep a low profile. Of course, if you and your brother share more money than one could do anything with in 1,000 lifetimes, then I'd also probably be spending most of my time away from prying eyes on private islands, probably flying a jetpack and going on fishing trips with a jetpack. Hell, let's buy jetpacks for the fish. Make it more interesting. Christy Ruth Walton is the widow of John T. Walton, one of the sons of Samuel Walton, the founder of Walmart. Bit of a thing going on here. Have you noticed how all these people are all from the same places? Interesting. It's almost like that's the way the world works. Anyway, after John's death in June 2005, she inherited his fortune of $18.2 billion. Forbes reported that she was the richest woman in the world for 7 years running. Whew, and still holds the title to this day. She and her family, not including her two brother-in-laws and a sister-in-law, had an estimated net worth of $41 billion, the bulk of which comes from her shares in Walmart, but also from First Solar, in which her husband invested in. Collectively, the Waltons own over 50% of the Walmart and are worth a combined total of $175 billion as of February 2015. In 2010, 6 members of the Walton family had the same net worth as either the bottom 28% or 41% of American families combined, depending on how you count it. That's more money than anybody needs. Lawrence Joseph Larry Ellison is an American programmer and internet entrepreneur. He was the chief executive officer of the software company he co-founded, the Oracle Corporation, between 1977 and 2014. He's currently worth $52.1 billion, which is no small sum. Ellison is the highest paid executive in America. He received $78.4 million in 2013, most of which is stock and options, and overall he's received $960 million in compensation in the last 5 fiscal years. He even cut his salary to a single dollar, but the tens of billions he has in the bank will more than make up for that, I'm sure. Ellison's fortune, however, is almost entirely tied up in Oracle, and he also owns a $580 million stake in web business software outfit NetSuite, and is one of the largest private landowners in Celebrity Haven, Malibu, California. While he's a prolific collector of real estate, the home he built himself outshines them all. Estimated to have cost $200 million to put together, the Japanese-style 23-acre estate boasts 10 buildings, a tea and bathhouse, a man-made lake, and a koi pond. Sure, why not? Amancio Ortega Gaona is a fashion executive, Spanish chap, and founding chairman of the Inditex fashion group, best known for its chain of Zara's, clothing, and accessory retail shops. He is the 4th richest person in the world, according to Forbes, with a net worth of $61.8 billion. In 1975, he opened his first Zara store, so called because his preferred name, Zorba, was already taken. Zorba? Zara's better. That's a good job. Zorba. Wow. He went on to open several large Zara stores during the 80s, and today Zara is part of the Inditex group, which Ortega owns 59.29% of it. You always know when it says 59.29% that there's a lot of it to go round. Ortega keeps a low profile, and up until 1999, no photograph of him had ever been published. He goes to the same coffee shop every day and eats lunch with his employees in the company's cafeteria. He refuses to wear a tie and typically wears a simple uniform of a blue blazer, a white shirt and grey pants, none of which are Zara products. He is also said to take a very active part in the production and design process in the company. He's only granted interviews to 3 journalists ever, and his secrecy has even led to the publication of books such as Amancio Ortega, De Cero a Zara, which is from zero to Zara, for those who don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish either, just somebody told me what it was. Carlos Slim Helu, and you'll have to forgive me for the pronunciation, is a Mexican business magnate, investor, and philanthropist. Everyone's a philanthropist, they've got enough money. Well, actually, that's not true, but they should be. From 2010 to 2013, Slim was ranked as the richest person in the world. Known as the Warren Buffett of Mexico, Slim has extensive holdings in a substantial amount of Mexican companies throughout his conglomerate, Grupo Carso, which has amassed interest in fields of communication, real estate, airlines, media, technology, retailing, and finance. América Móvil, which was Latin America's largest mobile phone carrier in 2010, accounted for around $49 billion of Slim's wealth by the end of the year. His net worth as of February 2015 is $69.5 billion. Wow! Warren Edward Buffett, or Buffett, I'm just thinking about buffets now. I like buffets, but they always fill me up because I have to have a little bit of every single one of the dishes on the buffet. I don't know why, I just have to try everything. Anyway, he's an American business magnate, investor, and a philanthropist. He was the most successful investor of the 20th century. Buffett is a chairman, CEO, and largest shareholder of Berkshire Hathaway, an American multinational conglomerate holding company. He was ranked as the world's wealthiest person in 2008 and the 3rd wealthiest in 2011. As of February 2015, he is the second richest person in the world with an estimated fortune of $70.5 billion. Buffett is called the Oracle of Omaha and is known for his adherence to value investing and for his personal frugality despite his immense wealth. He has pledged to give away 99% of his fortune to philanthropic causes, primarily via the Gates Foundation. Buffett bought his house in Omaha, Nebraska in 1958 for $31,500. The house has 5 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. How do you have 2.5 baths? Doesn't make any sense. Warren Buffett has called his house the third best investment he ever made, behind only wedding rings. And he's still living there. As of February 2015, Bill Gates is the richest person in the world with a net worth of $78.7 billion. But that fluctuates to around $82 billion or so, give or take $1 billion, based on the current stock prices of Microsoft. William Henry Bill Gates III is a philanthropist, investor, computer programmer, and inventor. Along with Paul Allen, he co-founded Microsoft, the world's largest PC software company. It makes something called Windows. You might have heard of it. He's been among the world's wealthiest people, predominantly at the number one spot from 1995 to 2014, excluding a few brief periods post-2008. Between 2009 and 2014, his wealth more than doubled, from $40 billion to more than $82 billion. Between 2013 and 2014, meanwhile, his wealth increased by $15 billion, or around $1.5 billion more than the entire GDP of Iceland in 2014. So what we're saying is, he's got more money. He had more money than the whole of Iceland. Yeah, so he's been at the helm of the world's richest list for 15 of the last 20 years. The dude's got money, all right? That's what we're saying. He's got a lot of money. He's got pockets full of dough. A few years ago, the Microsoft co-founder earned $250 per second, which translates to around $20 million a day and a staggering $7.8 billion a year. If he drops $1,000, it takes him 4 seconds to earn it back. If you change all of Bill Gates' money to $1 notes, you can make a road from Earth to the moon 14 times, back and forth. And even though Gates has donated almost $30 billion to his foundation's philanthropy activities, he remains the richest person on the planet as he continues to sell Microsoft shares every quarter. If you're watching this by any chance, Bill, if you could lend us a couple of million without the need to pay it back, then that'd be great. I can't promise I'll do anything good with it, but yeah, just drop us a line. Thanks everyone for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. For more top 10 lists, be sure to subscribe by clicking on the button that you can see now.